Okay, in this video we're going to do the balls update method, which is going to make it move around the screen. So let's talk about what movement is. This draw method is being called 60 times per second. So it creates one frame of animation and puts it on the screen. So this draw method we'll call the update method, move everything around, and then it will display the stuff once the stuff's position has been changed. So here we're going to need to call the ball.update, even though that method isn't done yet, to make sure that it does in fact move around once we implement the method. Over here in the ball class now, 60 times a second this update method is going to be called. And so movement animation is just like an illusion based on a rapid succession of slightly different images. Think like a flip book, you know. So we take the position and we change the position slightly over time, once, 60 times a second. So we take the current x position and we add to it the x speed. We take the current y position and each frame we add to it the y speed. That's the change in, position over time. And those are the only two things we really have to do. So if we say x equals x plus dx each time, this will take whatever is in this container and add to it the speed. So if this is 1 and the speed is 3, the first frame it'll be at location 1, the next time it'll be at location 4, 7, etc., frame after frame. So already this ball is going to move to the right when we run our program. So you can see it kind of scooch over to the right. But that's only part of the equation, because what's the problem is, once it hits the wall, that ball, it should bounce back, right? Well, let's make it bounce back. So how do we do that? We say if x is greater than the width of the screen, dx equals negative dx. So have it go back in the opposite direction. So if dx was 3, now let's change dx to negative 3. So then if x is the width, then we take x plus negative 3 and it'll send it to the left. Alright, so let's run it. So it's going to bounce back, I think. Alright, let's watch what happens now. And it just, crap, it cruises off to the side of the screen. Well, why does it do that? Because we haven't dealt with the 0 with the left side. So we can also say if x is less than 0, if it's hit the left wall, dx equals, guess what? Negative dx. Flip it around. Send it back the other direction. So now we have a ball that's bouncing back and forth. Yay! Alright, that's great. But we want our ball to not just travel side to side, because it won't ever hit the paddle, right? Well, let's do this exact same thing with a y. So I'm just going to copy it, and I'm going to paste it down here. And I'm going to change this to y. So if y equals y plus dy, if y is greater than, in this case, we're going to switch this to height because y is the up and down. If y hits the bottom, if the ball hits the bottom, we want to flip dy, send it back in the other direction. If if it hits the top of the screen, we want to do the same thing. And that, believe it or not, is it. Now our ball bounces around the screen, and it's behaving like a brick breaker ball, or at least it's on its way to being something that we can work with. It still won't do anything with respect to the paddle. It's not going to bounce off the paddle just yet, right? It just travels right through the paddle. But in subsequent videos, we're going to make it actually interact with the paddle, which is quite a bit harder than getting it to bounce off the walls. Actually, it'll take us a little while to get there. All right.